Florida Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. She joins us now live. Congresswoman, you don't like this deal. Why?
Well, absolutely not. Secretary Kerry said getting a bad deal would be worse than getting no deal. Well, that's what we ended up getting. We've got a bad deal. And he's going to try to sell this case to Congress today, but it's a pretty tough sell. Why? Because we make concession after concession in this nuclear deal with Iran, and Iran gives up precious little. What we're doing is that we're saying Iran does have a right to enrich, and in return, what are we get? We're making all of these concessions. We're doing away with the sanctions regime. Now, I am the author of the toughest sanctions law that we've ever had on the books, and this deal virtually wipes them away. It is a lesser bar. It's a lower bar than the U.S. Security Council resolutions, and it's lesser than U.S. law. So we've actually lowered the bar. What I think will happen is that Iran will comply. Why shouldn't it? They'll be complying with every part of this nuclear deal. In fact, they will invite the nuclear inspectors to come to Iran, and the media will fawn over them. The Obama administration will say, hey, they're complying. Yeah, we've set the bar so low, of course they're going to comply.
These are days in which getting bipartisan agreement is pretty difficult on Capitol Hill, but there are bipartisan concerns about this deal. Even congressmen like New York Democrat Eliot Engel are expressing concerns about what's gone on here.
Well, because we have seen that sanctions work. We have seen that they worked against Iran's mullahs. And remember, this is still a state sponsor of terrorism, and the human rights abuses are horrendous. And under this moderate leader, so-called moderate, Rouhani, there have been so many executions and beheadings. He is a ruthless dictator, and the Ayatollah is behind him calling the shots. And we have seen that getting tough with Iran has been able to cripple its economy, and it's gotten them to a very weak currency, and now they have nowhere else to go. They need this escape, and they see a very hungry, eager United States willing to barter away with this regime, and we're really giving away the store. So well, I know that Secretary Kerry will do his best, but we believe that strong sanctions and diplomacy, but strong sanctions will work.
What do you think is the motivation for the administration at this point in time to ease up on the sanctions?
Well, I think that the president in his second term, as many presidents have, they feel the need to build on their legacy. And I think that he has a burning desire to earn that Nobel Peace Prize that was prematurely given to him. And he's done it with Syria. We signed this accord thinking that they're going to get rid of their chemical weapons. And with Russia being the lead, taking the lead, when Russia has been part of the problem in Syria. And now we're doing it again with Iran. I think that the president sees that the United States population is war-weary, but this is a false choice to say that it's either war with Iran or getting this deal. This is not a binary choice. Sanctions have worked. We've got to continue the pressure. Remember, with all of these negotiations, Iran has continued its program. They just say that it's for domestic use and for peaceful purposes. This is just unbelievable that we're falling for this Rouhani ruse. He's going to charm us out of our safety.
Congresswoman, you are of Cuban heritage. You have long been a critic of the Castro regime. When you saw the handshake between the president and Raul Castro, what are your thoughts?
Well, it is nauseating. I was born in Cuba, had to leave my native homeland because of the communist oppression, along with my family. And like so many thousands of people that I represent in our community, they are also refugees of the Castro regime because they had to flee. And he shook the hand of a murderer, a thug, and those are bloodied hands. But I worry more about policy than I do about a handshake. If it's just a handshake that's not going to produce any change, well, I think Raul Castro should have listened to what Obama said. He said some of these leaders say that they praise Mandela, but they don't really act in the way that they respect the human rights of their countrymen. And I think that was a message to Raul Castro.
Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, Republican of South Florida. Thank you.
Appreciate it.